What's up, FFA? Good morning, everybody. I'm excited to be back here with you guys after that week-long Disney cruise with Alicia and the kids. It was a lot of fun. If you've not been on a Disney cruise, make sure you put that on your bucket list. I do feel, though, like I need a vacation from that vacation because having 4 kids on a boat with thousands of other kids, you could only imagine how chaotic that was, but it was a lot of fun. Very well organized. The kids had a blast. But I'm excited to be back at work, and I appreciate everybody that held the fort down for us last week and helped out with call to closes and questions in the WhatsApp chat and everything that you guys did. Way to step up to the plate. And hats off to you guys for just crushing last week. I feel like every single week is a new record for FFA, and it's just a testimony to all of you guys and all the hard work that you're putting into this movement that we have here and this opportunity. So I appreciate you guys for just hustling and just being phenomenal agents and crushing it last week. Make sure you go to WhatsApp and you check out the leaderboard that we will drop following this call for last week. Had a lot of new agents at FFA, hit some huge weeks. Some teams hit more record weeks. So just very excited to share that with you guys. So make sure you peep that leaderboard. That will get sent over to the WhatsApp chat here shortly. And guys, today we're going to talk about 4 myths that block agents from having success. I promise you, you've probably had these 4 myths pop up in your career. You might be having them right now. Chances are you are, especially if you're a newer agent. So these myths will block you from really being able to enjoy the success that you could have as an agent. And as we jump into this week, I want you to take these myths and just get them out of your head so you can go out there and crush it and have a phenomenal week. So let's jump into the verse of the day. First and foremost, it's Psalm 62:2. He alone is my rock and my salvation. He's my fortress. I shall not be greatly shaken. I love this verse because it's just a foundation that you can live your every single minute, right, of your life upon. And it doesn't matter what's going on. If you view him as your rock and your fortress, nothing can shake you. It doesn't matter what gets thrown your way. So many of you here have overcame just tremendous things throughout your life, right? And think about the things that maybe haven't happened yet. Think about the future. Think about future issues that could come up. Think about just how the world works. If you don't have that rock, if you don't have that fortress, gosh, it's a stressful life, right? Life is stressful trying to make it through it without anybody. And if you view this verse and you really rely upon it, guys, it doesn't matter what happens to you, right? He's your rock. He's your salvation. He has plans for prosperity, peace for you, right? And if you just follow this and believe in it, it really is. It just takes such a weight off your shoulders going into every single week. It's Monday. A lot of you guys, right? This is the first week back to school for your kids. All right, you're worried about them. You got other things you're worried about. Think about that verse, right, guys? You can't control everything in life. Even though we all wish we could, we can't. But he can. And you can rely on that and just enjoy life. When you wake up every day with that verse in your mind, you can enjoy your day no matter what's going on, whether it's raining, snowing, 95 degrees outside, doesn't matter. You get to enjoy life when you have a rock, right? Have him in control. So if you've never welcomed him into your life before, I'd invite you to just try it, right? Not trying to push nothing upon you, but I know for me, my life, I couldn't even imagine it, all right, without that. So just something to think about as we go into this Monday morning. But let's talk about myths that hold agents back from success. This is the one that cripples new agents. All right, if you're a new agent less than a year in the business, this myth, the I need to know everything myth, will cripple you. All right, this is for all you perfectionists out there that just want to have everything perfect. You want to know all the objections. You want to know everything there is to know about insurance, the carriers, the products. You think the more you know, the better you'll do. I got a secret for you guys. That's actually not the reality. in this business. You do not need to know everything to have success. Your quest as an agent is going to happen by the activity you put in. Okay. When I was a brand new agent, I did not know anything. I'd never sold anything before. I was not in insurance before. I knew just enough to pass the test. That's about it. Everything I learned, I just learned by trial and error. And guys, some of you, right, you're like, I need more ride along days. I need more coaching calls. I need this. I need that. And all of that is good. But check it out. You don't need that stuff. You need to take that iPad, get the leads loaded up, and knock on the door or call the leads. And success will happen for you. All right, guys, all you need to know to get started is the resources, right? Log into your carrier portals, the quoter, and the presentation. And you don't even need to memorize the thing, right? Just have it there and just run. That's all you have to do. I promise you guys, if you're brand new, after your first few field training days, right, or your telesales days, you probably thought you weren't prepared. You probably thought you're getting thrown out there to the wolves. Guys, there's a reason for that. You could ride with your coach 365 days in a row, but the minute you go out there on your own, it's like you're brand new again because you're by yourself. And so you got to get good at putting in the activity solo if you want to run to success. And you don't have to know everything, guys. This business is all about just making a friend, chatting with the leads, right? You're going to run into somebody that needs your help and you figure the process out by doing, okay? Within a year, you're going to know all you need to know when it comes to carriers, products, and all of that stuff. But don't be the new agent that doesn't go out there, doesn't apply it, right? Doesn't go push themselves to talk to the leads because you feel like you want to study more. You don't need to study more. You just got to go out there and make it happen. All right. And you will learn as you do. I know some people don't like hearing that, right? Especially for my perfectionists out there. You want to have everything dialed in to a T. But guys, that's not how life works. You're never going to know everything, right? Think about for all my parents out there. Now, I didn't read a parenting book, but if you read, right, like let's say you're about to have your first kid and you just read all these books, all right, about parenting, you're still never going to be ready to be a parent. Once that baby is there, it's a new life, right? You got to learn by being in that situation. The books might teach you some stuff, but I promise you, they're not going to prepare you, all right, for changing your first diaper. The only thing that's going to prepare you for doing that is just to do it. And this job is the same way. So don't let this first myth hold you back. The I need to know everything myth. Let's talk about the second one. I'm not a good salesperson. Guys, here's a secret for you. The best agents are usually agents that are not salespeople. They're servant-driven people. They're agents that came from being a teacher, came from being a nurse, came from being, you name it, whatever, a daycare worker, a construction worker. The best agents are not salespeople. Honestly, if I have already a person in car sales, I'm going to pick on my car guys here. I know I got a lot of you here at FFA, but I know you're going to struggle a little bit, all right? Because if you show up to these doors or you're talking to these leads on the phone, like a car salesman, they're going to hang up on you, right? You have to be a servant-driven person. So guys, maybe you're a brand new agent, maybe you're somebody watching this and you're thinking about becoming an agent, you're actually going to do better if you're not a salesperson, believe it or not. All my real salespeople out there, you got to unlearn some bad habits to get good at this job as an insurance agent. So don't let this myth prevent you from having success. I remember when I jumped into this, I thought I've never sold anything, right? I'm going to be horrible at this. And it was funny. I quickly became one of the top agents because I wasn't selling anything. I was just helping people with things that they had sent in for or things they didn't even know was going on with their insurance. I was just being a servant. All right. Servant-driven people become the best agents. So don't think because you're not a good salesperson, you're not an extrovert. Maybe you want to build an agency. You're thinking, I'm not a recruiter. You don't have to be, right? You just got to be yourself if you want to do good in this business. So that's myth number 2. Let's talk about myth number 3. Leads are my biggest problem. Guys, I promise you the leads are not the problem. You are, all right? And I know that might sound a little bit harsh, but we have agents that are writing a substantial amount of business off of the oldest age leads you could picture. Okay. We have agents that are writing a lot of business off of the brand new leads. The leads don't matter. It matters that you have them, right? So you have enough people to go see, but it doesn't matter the type. It doesn't matter if it came from Google, Facebook, direct mail. All right. It doesn't matter if it's a day old or 50 days old or 5 years old. It matters how you approach them. All right. But guys, if you're an agent, and this is to my experienced agents out there, this is sometimes true for new agents, but it's funny, guys, new agents take age leads because it's just what they got to practice with, right? They'd rather burn through a 50-cent lead than a $50 one. And they win, man. They have an awesome first month, right? Second month. But my experienced agents out there, you start thinking, oh, the leads are the problem. All these leads are bad. I got a bad batch. Guys, it's you. It's your approach. It's your overcoming objections. It's your attitude. The leads are not the issue. Okay. Now I can say this from experience because I've worked age leads. I've worked new leads. And I promise you, if you give me a county and you give me leads, I don't care what kind they are. If you give me enough of them, I'm going to have a good week because I have the right attitude about them. You're the same way. It's not the leads, guys. It's you. All right. So don't let that myth prevent you from being successful. Okay. Don't stereotype your leads. All right. I've watched agents close $5,000 houses off of 10-year-old leads. All right. I mean, I wouldn't recommend the 10-year-old leads as your primary source, but I'm just saying that's an age lead that so many other agents didn't work because they thought it was going to be bad. All right. Now, of course, you're going to have leads that you can't sell. Guys, the name of this game is not to sell every lead that you have. It's to filter through the bad ones as fast as possible to get to the good ones and then buy more and cycle it over again. So leads are not the problem, right? Now, you have to have leads. Number one, you're going to run out of warm market people to sell. Okay. It's just going to happen. So you need a steady flow of people to talk to. So if you're an agent here right now and you don't have that steady flow, why? Right? Guys, you've got the lead center. You can go on Marketplace. You can set up a real-time campaign, have those things coming into you pretty much instantly. Fix that. Okay. If you're somebody who's not getting leads consistently, that is a problem. But the lead itself is not the problem, right? Whatever you have for leads, as long as you have enough of them, you're going to be successful. You're going to find sales. You're going to get to the good ones. Okay, guys, don't be the agent that is expecting to buy a lead. I don't care if it's brand new and show up to the door or call them on the phone and think that they're going to say, yes, I needed life insurance. I want to pay this much money. This is my beneficiary. And here's my bank account information. That is not going to happen. All right. Very rarely, maybe 1 out of 10 is like that. Most of the time, you have to work the leads. That's why it's selling, not sold. Right. So you have to work the leads. You got to work the system, work the presentation, beat the objections to make the sales. The leads aren't the problem. How you're approaching them and your attitude towards them is most likely the problem if this myth is holding you back. All right. So that is the third myth. This is a huge one. All right. And I really want to hone in on this, guys, because this one could really stop you from having success. This Monday morning, guys, get on Marketplace, scoop up more leads than you've ever bought before in a week. And I pretty much could guarantee you that you're going to have the biggest week of your career if you go out there with the most leads you've ever had before and you just hustle. You put the hours in like you've never put in before. You talk to more people than you've never talked to before. You're going to have a huge week. All right. So have the right attitude with leads going into this week. And then the last myth that stops people is I don't want to annoy people. Guys, the worst people are going to do is tell you no. And if you get told no, you're just in the back in the same exact spot you were 5 seconds before you talk to that person. So we have agents, right, that ask, well, should I knock at 7 o'clock at night? Guys, what's the solution, right? If you don't, you're not going to sell anything. So it kind of goes back to that quote or that question I put in WhatsApp. Is your fear of rejection, right, greater than your fear of regret? And if that is true, you got to get rid of that mindset. Because if you're allowing the fear of rejection to prevent you from hitting your goals every single week, you're going to regret that at the end of the month, right? When you're looking at that bank account or that production report. So guys, I've watched agents close deals at 10 o'clock at night. I've watched an agent literally knock on their door at 10 o'clock at night. I'm not saying to go out and do that. I'm just saying he wanted to win, right? Shout out to Corey. Corey, in his first month, left a great career. He was the back-to-back agent of the month the last 2 months, and he'd be knocking on doors at 9 o'clock at night. All right. He didn't let the fear of rejection stop him. I promise you, he got told no a lot, right? Doing that. He got told to get lost quite a few times, right? People answering the door in their PJs. But there was many nights where he'd close a $100, $200 a month app and be leaving the house at 11 o'clock at night. He hustled to make that happen. So guys, don't let this myth stop you. If you allow this myth to stop you, think about all the people that you're not helping that really needed your help. Think about, all right, let's say it's, what is it? Monday morning. Oh, I don't want to call my leads. I don't want to bother them on the phone. Guys, what if the one lead you call is the one lead you help today and something happens to them in 3 years and their beneficiary gets that check? And if you didn't call them, they wouldn't get that. You're actually hurting people by buying into this myth of you're thinking you're annoying people by knocking on their door. All right. Now, don't get me wrong. You might annoy some people, but they're just going to tell you no. But the ones that need your help, they're going to love that you showed up. That client that doesn't know they're in a term plan right now, that's getting ready to expire on them next year, they're about to be 80 and have no insurance. I promise you is going to be glad that you annoyed them today. So don't let that myth stop you. Okay, guys, that's all I got for you on today's call. Just 4 quick myths, all right, that seem to hold agents back. Don't let these hold you back. Let's go have a phenomenal Monday and Tuesday, and we will be back here on Monday. Appreciate you guys for jumping on here.